Hospice is not scary, and it is not choosing to give up. It's choosing to accept the help that's available. Accepting the help increases that quality of life for however long you have left, whether that's days, weeks, or months.
I don't think you can do this job unless it's your passion. And I'm telling you, the people here, it's their passion. And that came across to Dad, and he had a great experience. I mean, even though he's in his last few days, he felt like he had friends here, that people truly cared about him. I'm telling you, they did care.
Instead of my last days being frantic and scared and being a caregiver, I was able to just be a family person.
In a bad situation, it just turned out to be good. Dad had a fall at the house, and this was not the first time this had happened. And I told Mom, I said, I think it's time we call the hospital. So we called in ARMC. They brought the ambulance. They were fantastic. My father was diagnosed with AFib, and he had a stroke. And then come to find out, lung cancer had caused all that. So the next morning, Thomas comes in and we start talking, and Dad was ready. He knew what was going on. He knew where this was headed, and he wanted to be comfortable, and he didn't want to be a burden on the family or on Mom. Hospital, they make arrangements. We got him over here to the house, and we ended up spending 17 days here.
Hi there. I'm Thomas Pepler. I'm the director for Hospice of the Hills.
Hi, I'm Sandra Johnson, and I serve on the board for Hospice of the Hills. One of the first misconceptions that I hear people say a lot is that once you go in hospice, they just help you die fast. And that's really not true. I mean, they help you live well.
Hospice service is designed for those with a life-limiting disease with a prognosis of 6 months or less. But the sooner you can get into hospice services, the greater the benefit for the patient and, just as important, the family.
They did a wonderful job here, taking care of Dad, taking care of my mother, because she stayed up here a lot of the time, and they took care of all of us. You know, our family that came in, it was just like an extension of our family with the family here.
My mother was sick with Parkinson's, and she was terminal. She had developed leukemia and some other things along the way. She was severely diabetic, and she was not having good health. My dad couldn't wake her up one morning. We called for an ambulance. She ended up in the ER, and we had to make a decision. So she came from the ER to the hospice house. For her entire stay here, her pain was fully managed, and my dad didn't have to anguish through that. We were able to spend my mom's last days with someone taking around-the-clock care with her, and my dad was able just to be her husband.
I think probably the most fulfillment I get is just simply being available to the patient and to the family. Whether that means holding the patient's hand, singing a song to them, just letting them know they're very loved, you know, that they have family that have been so present.
Hospice services is designed primarily to take care of patients at home. And most of our patients are at home. They stay there sometimes the entire time that they're on our service. And so the hospice house, again, is a support for that.
Here we have a very home-like setting with a lot closer ratio of staff and patient, which makes it, just that in and of itself, makes it a lot easier to provide optimum care. And then when you think again of it being more of a home-like setting, it not only helps the patient, but it helps their families feel more at home and relaxed.
I had the experience of hospice first with my mother, and I didn't know that 5 months later I would need that for my dad. He had cancer that was all over him, and when he came into the house, they put him in the same room that my mom was in. And I said, Dad, you realize where you are. Do you want to be in this room or do you want to be in a different one? He goes, oh, I want to be right here. You know, he was fully aware, fully comfortable. We were all kind of celebrating his life, remembering his stories, letting him tell us stories. It was just as pretty as death can be.
It would just help me know that he was safe. I didn't have to worry about him being here. Didn't have to worry about Mom being here with him because they were going to take care of her too. And anything that he would mention, oh, maybe I'd like to have some Jell-O. There'd be Jell-O there. He was a big Diet Dr. Pepper drinker, and they had Diet Dr. Pepper here for him no matter what.
We have a dedicated staff that is trained and really loves what they do. That makes the biggest difference to me. We could do everything right, but if we didn't have great staff in place, it wouldn't be the blessing that it is. Being able to come to the house with your patient, with your loved one, is really amazing because they do have patient rooms where your loved one stays, but it was always so welcoming for anyone to come and visit and be a part of their journey here. There's a family room, there's a kitchen, there's a little chapel area, there's a library, there's a place for kids to be. And you know, that's for the patients, but it's also for the families.
There's a lot of people out there that need the help and the support in going through those last days, weeks, and months of life. We want that patient and their family not to have to worry about whatever else is going on. You know, a success for us is the patient passed peacefully, without complication, and that family felt supported all along the way, and they didn't feel abandoned to do it on their own.
I never doubted that they really cared and that they really wanted to provide the level of support that I needed and that my family needed.
The people here care so much, and they go above and beyond. So don't hesitate to trust your loved ones with the hospice house here. It's fantastic.